Welcome, family. If you're new here, my name is Deja D, and this is The Love Journey. My intention: inspire and create a community where you can share your journey and to encourage you to keep pushing through to your best version of yourself. If you're not already a part of the family and that's something you could get down with, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video if it is in alignment. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. I really want to stay on topic this time and just give you guys this really valuable information. This is something that I have had on my heart to share for a while, and so I'm happy to finally bring this topic to our community. And you will see me looking down. I have some notes here. I have my little video outline, but this video is going to be about surviving traumatic friendships. Okay, I think a lot of the times, especially people in the spiritual community, like to talk about relationships, meaning partnerships or romantic relationships, but I feel like a lot of people don't touch on the topic of friendships, how traumatic some of those connections can be for you, and how hard it is to work through learning to trust people again and healing your ability to be vulnerable and to reconnect in a social standing, not just romantic. So I have three main things we're going to get into that I've personally been affected by with traumatic friendships that I've had in my life, and also some tips to help you heal through that and to align yourself to be able to connect and have healthy friendships moving forward. I've been through several awakenings, and as you'll learn, if you're new to this spiritual journey or self-love journey or high vibration journey, you are going to go through many waves and cycles throughout this, okay? And a part of my experience through this has definitely been losing a lot of friendships. And at some point, you might even look around and feel like you're so alone. Like you have so many people in your life, but you don't really have many people that you can truly call on and call a friend. You may have the motivation or want to gain relationships, and some people may feel like I'm fine right here on my own, me, myself, and I is all I got in the end. Everybody's in different stages of their journey, but I think that these points will help everybody, no matter where you're at in this process, with healing some of the traumatic things that can really stop you from being able to be vulnerable and connect with people on a deeper level. Okay, so let's get into some of the things that can come up and some of the lasting effects of traumatic friendships, and then how we can kind of transmute that energy into a healthier atmosphere to call in those connections that we need for our highest good. All right. So the first thing for me that I definitely felt was my ability to communicate in conversation. So I've noticed that having relationships with old friends, right, where we have this really imbalanced energy, you can become an emotional dumpster, where people will dump on you all the problems that they have going on in their life. You may also have people oversharing with you, or you could be the oversharer where you're the one who's emotionally dumping and oversharing every little hiccup or problem that comes up for you. When I first kind of started to assess the people who I have in my life and how our relationships were, I realized that I found myself in this really uncomfortable place with silence. We've been taught to kind of fill the air with words, and like if someone's not talking to you or something's not happening, like there's a problem. If they haven't texted you or called you, like maybe they're mad at you, and you can kind of get into this overworked energy of overanalyzing everything when you're in this period of silence. I think a lot of people are afraid of it, quite frankly, because boundless realities can creep out. And so you build this kind of feeling of uncomfortableness around the silence, around not talking to each other, or even feeling the need to, even if you don't have anything constructive to say, like you're just word vomiting out all these different things, which of course in turn can lead to dumping. There are so many emotional vampires. I've experienced a lot. I've come across a lot of people who are very attracted to me as a friend because I am a good listener and because I naturally have a lot of empathy. So of course, I've always shown up and really been understanding and compassionate. But that has me attracting a lot of people who sometimes take advantage of that. They're not really listening to what it is that you're going through. They're just interested in being able to get their shit off. You know, when someone's calling you and you know they're just going to dump on you, it makes it to where you don't even really want to engage. Anytime you see someone's name pop up on your phone and you're like, oh my God, I know it's going to be some shit. Like, those people in your life, you should really look at if they are really just using you as a place to dump and overshare, right? And then also, when you are speaking about how you're feeling and you aren't feeling heard, or that person's not listening to you, that should really make you question, like, are they really talking to you to communicate, to connect, to really find some sort of understanding or to get advice? Or are they just using your conversation to get off whatever energy that they have, that they're going through, whether it's their stress or anxiety or any worries, onto you? Even if they're not looking from a solution for you, sometimes you have to realize that that is taking energetically from you by dumping onto you everything that they have. Now you are holding their burdens, and there's no sense of relief, not even for you to get chores off or to let theirs go. And over time that will build up, and you will feel that in your body, and you'll feel that in your mind when you see them, or when their name comes up, or when you know you have to have some sort of interaction with them and you already feel tired. You're already feeling overwhelmed. You're already dreading it. That is a major thing. When it comes to building new friendships, it can kind of make it hard for you to recognize the difference between someone who is coming to you for the value that you bring, or empathy, and how you are able to show up for them and how you are able to be there for them and show compassion for them, or if they're really just giving you pleasantries, just little sugar, little band-aids on top of what it is that you're sharing, or if they're actually connecting with you, if they're seeing you and hearing you for what you're experiencing, and they're able to kind of provide some sort of reassurance, some sort of relief, and even if it's not relief, to actually hear you and to be in a connected conversation with you and communicate with you. I think that that's important. I also think it is important to embrace the silence. Sometimes you will see more and notice more about what people will not do for you, or when they will not reach out to you, and that will show you how much they value you or what they use you for in your friendship. Okay, so if you've gone a week or two without hearing from someone, and then all of a sudden it's their birthday and they're reaching out to you because they want you to go out to the club, but they haven't talked to you about anything else, then you know that maybe they're using you because you're the life of the party and they want to have you there or around them. Or for example, if you know that you've been going through a lot and you've reached out to someone and you've kind of told them you have a lot going on, but they never come back around and check in to see how you're doing. Like, you know that that silence is there because it's not something that they want to be a part of, connect with, or engage with. So embracing that silence and using it as a gauge to see where you stand with people is very important. Also, if you just shut your mouth and let people talk, often they will show you exactly who they are. You have to recognize those red flags, okay? And learning your own voice and understanding how you show up in a conversation. Are you showing up from your truth? People will switch how they talk, like, oh, I know I'm about to hang out with my spiritual friends, so now it's all peace and love. Or, oh, I'm going to hang out with my ratchet friends, so now I'm saying more cuss words and I'm talking hella shit, or whatever. You know, it's like you have to really analyze yourself and how you're communicating and how you're showing up in these relationships, because when you start to heal and you start to move from a different vibration, you start to worry about your well-being and you choose your words wisely, people who you've communicated with are not in alignment with that, and it could trigger them, you know, and it could make it hard to connect with other people when you're so used to showing up a certain way. You don't know how to even share, open up, and be vulnerable with people because you're just so used to people coming and giving themselves to you that you aren't able to give yourself in a true, honest, open conversation. Another thing that I've personally experienced surviving through traumatic friendships has been the trust. Now, this is one of the biggest ones for me. Knowing that you are truly connecting to someone because they like who you are as a person, and that the things that you are vulnerable with and you do share will not be used against you as weapons and or spread around as gossip. So for trust, some of the traumatic experiences that I would like to highlight in the spiritual journey that we go through, whether you're in a space where you're okay with me, myself, and I right now, and you're not ready to go out and find friends that are in alignment with you yet, or if you're still in a stage where you're just starting to cut out the people, recognized when you're getting backhand praise, you kind of feel like they're salty towards you. They don't genuinely seem to be happy. Gossip energies around every time you interact with people. Disempowerment, backstabbing, and also clouding your vision. These are major traumatic flags for me. So let's dig a little deeper into these, because these are really big ones for me that I've experienced. So sometimes we forget when we are connecting with people and we are being vulnerable and sharing every aspect of our life, whether it is a relationship problem, something going on in your family, it could be your personal health even, or just a mental struggle that you're going through. You have to be careful when you're in an unhealthy or toxic friendship of not recognizing the flags. This empowerment of taking your power of any of your wins or trying to play your situation down also can lead to a lot of trauma and having to heal future friendship. You have to be careful with these because they don't always come up very obviously. It's the little backhanded compliments, it's the little things like that, like, oh, your hair looks like it's growing today. Like being around people who are playing as though they're on your side and in actuality they are not on your team, that could lead you into a bunch of dangerous situations, honey. Dangerous. Very obviously saying and showing to you that they don't really like you or they don't want the best for you, but you're not really accepting it, and you're taking it as a joke, or you're taking it as, you know, someone poking fun at you. People who love you and who value you and value your friendship and are of a higher vibration, keyword higher vibration, will not backhand compliment you, will not poke at your weaknesses, will not dim down your wins, okay? Another thing is backstabbing. That's something that I've definitely experienced a lot. You will think that you are cool with people, get close with people. You might even share some of your plans or a vision that you have for your life or future. And as you share them, they do little things to stop you, okay? They do little things to sabotage that growth for you because they either see that you're going to overpass them, grow past them. They think that they are going to lose access to you or you'll be better than them in any kind of way. Now, some examples of this you might recognize in some of your friendships that you have now, which should make you reevaluate. But personally, in my own ways that I've experienced this is, for example, say I'm going on a health journey and I want to have a more healthier lifestyle as far as diet and exercise, right? I may share with a friend, and I've shared with a friend this, and now all of a sudden they're asking to go out to eat all the time. These are the people who know that your weakness is sugar, and so the next time you see them, they're gifting you with all these things after you shared with them that you're trying to do something different. Or for example, say you're trying to stop drinking or stop smoking weed, but then all of a sudden when they come over, they're always still rolling up a blunt, but they know you're not trying to smoke. They're asking you out to go to the bar, but they know you're not drinking. It's trying to get you to continue to engage. If you are personally stating that you don't want to be involved in something and someone is trying to constantly keep you entangled and wrapped into that energy, that is not a healthy friendship. When in actuality, someone who cares about you wouldn't continue to put you in those situations. These are the things that you have to be cautious of, because when it comes to sharing your vision, when it comes to sharing your next move, it just creates this feeling of havoc within your life. These people need to be identified, and you really have to evaluate, honey, like where you're going, are they in alignment with that? Which is also the next point that I'll be making in a second. But if it is not, then it's time to release and let it go, because it's just going to continue to keep you entangled. I'm going to share a personal story with you guys. I had a friend. We're no longer friends at this point, but I really, really trusted her. We had known each other for years, like a decade more, right? And we really knew the stages of like the younger versions of ourselves and how far we had come to like where we are now. Not to say we're perfectly healed, but we had come a long way, honey, okay? And so even with this relationship, I had shared a lot of personal things about my family dynamic that were very unhealthy. That's another story for another day. Even some relationship problems that I had within my current partnership and just some of the things that I have been really working on releasing and changing about myself. And in the midst of us sharing, it seemed like a very reciprocal friendship. However, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this person started to use a lot of the things that I would share against me as almost weapons or tools to hurt me. So, for an example, they would say, "You don't respect other people's values and you don't respect boundaries," knowing that I was a person who really lacked boundaries in my life, and I was struggling to put boundaries in place in my family dynamic, in my relationship dynamics. Even just throwing back some of my relationship struggles in my life, some of the problems that I had with my family back in my life, and just using it as a means to bring me down or to really attack my character, and that really hurt me because I don't share very personal parts of myself with everybody. I have a few really close friends that I trust to share certain things with. You don't really share those with a lot of people, and that was someone that I shared a lot with, way too much with, because they weaponized my vulnerability against me. And that then makes it really tough for me to want to turn around and open up deeper to people who are of high vibration that I have attracted based on the way that I've changed my life and how I live, and these people who I admire and look up to. Then I'm nervous to open myself up and give more of the deeper, darker things that I am truly experiencing, where we can grow and have that healthy communication. I am still healing through the trauma of distrust from other situations where I thought that I had a aligned friendship, and in actuality, it turned itself against me. So that's something that I'm still healing through, and trust within a friendship is something very hard to heal through. So be very, very aware of where you stand with the people that you're in friendships with. The last thing when it comes to healing through your ability to connect in friendships and being vulnerable is alignment. Now, this one is a pretty big one. I don't want to say it's vague, but I will say it's very specific to the person. So I would say for everyone, this will look different. When it comes to alignment and surviving toxic and traumatic friendships, the first thing that comes to my mind, and this is something that happens in romantic relationships as well, is trauma bonding. It's where if you have situations that you've both experienced, for example, maybe a lack mindset or coming from a family that didn't have as many means, or maybe you have experienced a lot of infidelity and you meet someone else that has experienced that, you are more likely to connect because you have some trauma in common that you can bond over how the experience felt and the journey of getting through that together. Now, this happens on so many levels, in the family level, the romantic level, and the friendship level. Okay. Sometimes you will really connect with someone, whether it's over some trauma that you both have experienced or whether you just really like their personality. And then later on, you will either realize, A, the only thing that you have in common is that trauma and struggle, the struggle that you both experienced together, or B, that they have a really cool personality, but you guys don't actually like the same things, you don't want the same things, and you're not working on the same things. Those are very big realizations to recognize when it comes to your friendships. Now, let's talk about the trauma bond. I think it's important to remember that trauma bonding is very much a common thing when it comes to human relations, because of course we connect with people who are like us, who have experienced things like us. You're here because of that, because something about me or what I share resonates with you, and that's normal, that's okay. But the problem comes in when the only thing that you connect with and about is that trauma. So maybe once you've healed past this infidelity issue and you still have that friend that you used to talk all the time about how your man cheated on you with, and you get into this new relationship, you still have this friend who's here talking about all the infidelity and feeding you all these seeds of disempowerment, right? The bond that you guys have over this infidelity is still going to affect the position in which you are in. And that is where the imbalance comes in. So I think it's important to remember that you should be looking into healthy bonds, okay? Bonding over things that are in alignment with me has helped me to connect with people. Now, you do have to be careful because say you both like tarot readings and stuff, you want to make sure that you are in alignment with more than just that healthy thing. You want to make sure that you guys are still on the same path, that you value the same things. For example, valuing honesty, valuing privacy, valuing freedom and time away, respecting mutual respect. There has to be layers to the bond of healthiness, not just this one thing. So just really making sure that the people that you connect with and that you are vulnerable with are people who hit multiple points that are in alignment with you. It's also important to recognize when people actually love you for who you are and all the imperfections that come with that versus admiration. Okay, there are people who see your light and they are very much attracted to you because they like how you come across. And the love that they have for you is for what you show. It's for what you represent, right? And for what they see versus who you are. There are some people who will see me, see that I'm about good vibes, wear crystals, and think like I'm all, cool to befriend. But then once, because they admire, right, the idea that I'm positive and spiritual. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone at all, but this is just my experience. And then once they get to know me and they see the layers of me that are beyond the spirituality, and they see how I move within my life, just being real about how I feel. It's not always love and light with me. Like, you're not always going to get what you want to hear from me. I'm going to tell you the truth. Sometimes that looks ugly. Sometimes I will find that people are not so much admiring me anymore because they're learning who I am and they don't have a true love and respect for everything that I stand for. They love the idea of you, the idea of being your friend, but when they realize all that comes with you, it's not something that they want to nurture and they want to connect with. So a part of that is definitely being in your truth and knowing your truth, knowing where you're going and what's in alignment with you, what you value, what you desire, so that when you do attract those things, you're able to really assess if it is a true match to your true self or a match to the self you're projecting, and vice versa. But I just wanted to kind of share with you guys some ways to first and foremost recognize a toxic, traumatic friendship, and secondly, to understand how it affects you, ways that you can heal and move into better connections and friendships moving forward, because the whole purpose is to align yourself with your highest version, right? To love yourself, to know who you are, to know what you want, and then to attract your spiritual family, to attract your path and your purpose and the connections of destiny, and to let the universe create this world around you that is in alignment with you. And when you're stuck in the trauma of not being able to have those friendships and connections, it can make it hard once you have done the work for yourself to open up your world and your space to other people. That is my personal experience with surviving traumatic friendships, and also some of the traumas that I've worked through myself in order to attract and maintain healthier friendships. I'm not in a perfect position, not at all. However, I am very aware now, and when things come up and I am triggered, I recognize where it's attached to a past situation or a friendship that didn't serve me, and also working to maintain the healthy friendships that I have attracted based on where I am now, learning how to open up and be more vulnerable, and really having grace and patience for myself for not giving all of myself immediately to people how I did before, with good intentions, to build real connections with people who truly show up, put in the effort that they want to connect with me, that show that I can trust them, and also that show that they are in alignment with me and value my conversation and my friendship. I wish nothing but that for you as well. I hope that this gives you a few little points that maybe you can identify some people that you maybe need to let go, or maybe even identify some new people who could be in alignment with you, and learn how to release any old baggage to help you maintain that. As always, if you guys made it this far, please like this video. It is very helpful for me. I appreciate all the views, but liking the video does help for it to go out further, for other people to discover our community and join our journey. If you're not already, definitely subscribe. And I am going to leave you guys with the same thing I always do, a bunch of peace and love. I will see you in the next video, and until then, take care of yourself, learn yourself, and love yourself more and more every day. Bye.